have been experiencing a lot of feelings of conflict and betrayal within personal relationships and work relationships. I've been feeling more fragile and irritable lately as well. I feel a big push has begun, as Susie has mentioned. It feels like things are clearing. I'm trying best to navigate through all of this and also have a reoccurring soreness in my left shoulder neck. Any insights?
Yours is left, mine's right, so we're balancing each other out a little bit here. Um, yeah, so what's beginning to happen, what's beginning to come into collective conscious awareness, and is definitely coming in to awareness for each of us individually as well, is that we've been duped. That's the only way I can say it. It's like we've been corralled, we've been coerced, we've been conditioned. Um, it's like, and when the collective starts waking up to that, even when us, I mean, you and I, we've all known this for quite some time. We've known these things. It's one thing to know it, to consciously, have it in our mental capacity to know these things. It's quite another thing to start feeling it leaking out of our bodies, start feeling where that tension that really has always been there, right? That tension in the vagus nerve, that tension in what we have actually shouldered, the tension in how we get to give and receive down through that is an energetic imprint that has been laid upon, in many ways taken upon, conditioned into our biology, psychology, neurology. And so you're right now, all of that energy is coming up and out. And it's not just coming up and out for you and I, it's coming out for collective humanity. And it pisses people off. I mean, it's like, why wouldn't it? It's irritating. It pisses people off that this has been the case. And, a lot of times people will say things like, well, I'm just now finding out about this, or why am I just feeling this when I've known this for quite some time? And so very likely what happens right after that is we start making ourselves wrong, because one of the biggest conditions that has happened on this planet is that we have been taught to make ourselves wrong for what goes on in the world. That's the biggest illusion, delusion, confusion, right? And so we very naturally and organically goes, well, what's wrong with me? I'm broken. Something's happening to me, right? No, you were born into a world that was basically slave based, right? And you were a little person. You were just born into this reality. You didn't know that that's what it was. And the very fact that most of us are even aware that we're irritated, or that we're aware that our bodies are hurting a little bit more, we're aware. That's that part of us that remained aware. That's that part of us that didn't fall asleep, right? But there's no reason for us to beat ourselves up about that. Yeah. What I will say is we want to give ourselves permission to feel what we feel, right? That we are irritated, we are frustrated, it is unnerving or uncomfortable, and that we can allow ourselves to have those kinds of feelings, emotions, energies running through us. We can even go and act it out in whatever way is not harmful, right, to ourselves or to others. Get in your car and scream, get get the bat from underneath the bed and beat the crap out of your pillows, do something to let that energy move. And although it sounds like it sounds funny, but I just want to point out, this is how conditioned we are. It's that we're not allowed to get in our car and scream. but we are allowed to get frustrated at our employee or our employer or our friends. We are allowed to take it out on them. But it seems kind of silly or funny or weird to grab a bat and beat the shit out of our bed, or, or scream in the car, or listen to some music that just, it's like, see, so this is that's conditioning. That's conditioning. And this is why we talked about very early on, Journey Back to Love, Avatar Energetics, all these different places, the autism integration series, all these places where we get to learn that we have all been conditioned to certain feelings, certain emotions, certain things. We're good if we feel light, breezy, and happy. We're bad if we feel angry, frustrated, and whatever. But again, we really want to consider the fact that maybe we're not, maybe the fact that we're angry, frustrated, or whatever is just an indication that we're picking up a collective wave of energy, or maybe we're picking up what's underneath the surface, but's not spoken. I mean, how many of us intuitive types, empathic types have said to somebody, is something wrong? Are you okay? Is something off? Because we can feel what's underneath, and that person says, no, I'm fine, I'm okay, everything's good, right? Well, for a little person, that creates confusion. That creates, well, wait a minute, I felt this, but you said that, right? From that moment forward, we begin to say, well, no, we get confused about the way things feel, and we make ourselves wrong for feeling one way instead of another way. So, yeah, compassion, compassion, compassion. It's amazing how much compassion and love does, and it's amazing how much it does when it's directed back at ourselves.